this very day, at this very hour, we are going to talk about snarl and purr words. Now, Lucy is actually in the room and could demonstrate a purr, but she's basically just sitting there. I'm not sure about that. Yeah. This is an expression that was introduced to me by a man who had a master's degree, which I think was in philology. And that's the study of Phil. Who's a bloke who lives around the corner. No, and that's Philanderer.
Oh, not Phil Bennett.
No, you see, Philanderer as a joke. Phil Bennett's kind of limp, right. Isn't it? Really, but
I had to fill the time somewhere.
Had to fill the time somewhere. Philology, I am led to believe, is the study of language and words. I could be wrong. But anyway, this guy had studied it.
Yeah.
And he explained to me a concept that I've not really seen much explained elsewhere, though I'm sure there are wonderful words in both sociology and psychology for it. And they'll be quite different because they never talk to each other because they're experts on society and the individual. And never the twain shall meet, except for the social psychologists.
Yeah, that always confused me.
Very confusing. A snarl word is a word that immediately brings about a negative emotional reaction. Fascism. Appeasement.
Ooh, can I do one? Funeral. Is that one?
I think he's just upset you all, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because he's actually gone for one that's personal to you.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking about that rather than paying attention to the nonsense I'm talking. So there are words around that area they're not really snarl words, they're descriptive words,
right.
which upset us.
Yeah, because there's not really a nice version of...
They bring out memories. Yeah. With a word like fascism, we then have despotism, tyranny, monarchy. Now, monarchy is not a snarl word.
Yeah.
But monarchs are despots, unless they're constitutional monarchs like our good Queen Elizabeth II, who we love very much indeed. But the dictators from whom she is descended, going back to Alfred the Great, in fact, the Queen is descended from a 9th century king. There was a lot of weird toing and froing along the way. But if you look at the people who succeeded, their idea was that you did as you were told, or they chopped your head off. Now, if we're going to talk about fascism being unpleasant, but it's possible to have the same concept embodied in different words.
Anxious, nervous, worried.
Concerned. I was concerned about you. I was anxious about you. I was worried about you. I'm being paranoid about you. These words may all be used on a spectrum that, gives a different expression of meaning. Yeah. Then you have purr words. Purr words are words that make you feel good. So democracy, and which hopefully should make you feel good.
Freedom.
Build a wall. No, hang on.
No.
That doesn't work for everyone.
No.
Make America... No.
No, stop.
Make America again.
Yes.
I use the word appeasement as an example of a snarl word, and it's a very interesting word because it means negotiation. But because it was used in 1938, when Neville Chamberlain went and desperately tried to keep Britain, which at the time only had 12 high-altitude fighter aircraft, by the way, desperately tried to keep Britain from involving itself in a war over Czechoslovakia, a new country which had 4 million people in it who wanted to be part of Germany. He was said to have appeased Adolf Hitler. And since then, politicians and spin doctors, people in PR, use words to create an emotional landscape. So they use snarl words, crooked Hillary. You see, there are a lot of examples of this. They use... I'm so glad that we're not part of any charitable organisation that disallows us making political comment at this particular moment in time.
Take back control.
Take back control, which was the slogan of Brexit that actually apparently came from Dominic Cummings, who is currently a member of the British government as an advisor, and managed to get a lot of people who would normally never vote by using a vague Purr phrase, take back control. Take back control of what? Well, whatever you last felt you were in control, that'll be it. So he managed to tip the vote. There's a great book by Frank Luntz, Dr. Frank Luntz. He's not a medical doctor, by the way. So if you need something,
I need a doctor.
If you need a doctor, then he's a doctor of words.
Okay.
He was a speechwriter for the Republican Party, who wrote a book called Words That Work. And Spike will no doubt, if we move upside here, she can put the book there. Words That Work is written by a Republican. So as we are going to be, on our side of the fence, and we can't have any neoliberals reading this. I'd like to point out that John Kerry, who was a former presidential candidate for the Democrat Party, said all politicians ought to read this book. I think everyone should read it because it shows how easily words can be used to manipulate our responses so that we have an emotional response. And there I'd like to point to a statement made by a neurologist that we believe that we are thinking creatures with feelings, but we're actually feeling creatures that think. And we use our thoughts to justify our fundamental bias when we are not open-minded enough. So watch out for people's use of words to get you to have an emotional response. I personally hate political rallies. But whenever I see people going, yeah! Oh, Lucy looked up at that. It bothers me. It bothers me that, getting a group together to all shout at something ferociously, the fervour that is evoked. And I would prefer calm and rational discussion and thinking about ideas rather than telling us how great we are and how wonderful we are and how we're the best people that ever existed.
And how horrible our opponents are. They
are horrible, our opponents. They are bad people. In fact, they're fascists.
Yeah.
And we're not going to appease them. We're going to... This also gets into what's called euphemism, where you start using words that will not, make anybody upset. So collateral damage, which means we killed a lot of civilians. We killed children, and that's collateral damage.
What was the early words for post-traumatic stress disorder?
It's been called shell shock.
Shell shock.
And after that it was called battle fatigue.
Battle fatigue.
And in World War One, soldiers were shot for having shell shock. They were shot for cowardice. But again, you have this military reterming. George Orwell talked about doublethink and doublespeak, and you have the Ministry of Propaganda becomes a Ministry of Truth, or mini-truth as he calls it. It was very interesting to see that the Ministry of War in Britain, probably at George Orwell's advice, changed its name to the Ministry of Defence. So we can reframe meaning simply by using words, and it's something to be very aware of, because as a way of very simply manipulating us, it's something that is happening all the time. So Purr words, good. Snarl words, horrid. And I'm John Atack.
I'm Tom Atack.
Thank you for your company, and we hope to see you in the very near future.